Good evening, everyone. I'm not here to talk to you about change tonight. This change, it's inevitable, and it's happening whether we like it or not. And right now, when people think about artificial intelligence, the big change that comes to mind is your job. Will AI steal your job? Will it replace you? Will everything that you worked so hard for suddenly be lost? Now, those are real and valid fears, ones I also share myself. But I'm not here tonight to talk about AI as an economic problem, but as a human problem. Because with every great change in history, there's always been a choice to either embrace that change or to resist it. But sometimes, especially with things like AI, that choice isn't quite so clear. And this time, it doesn't involve just our jobs, but something much more. Those of you who know me know that I'm a bit old school and a little resistant to new technologies. I'm a mountain climber. I like doing things the hard way. I value struggle, things that require discipline, take years, if not decades, to achieve mastery of self. I believe it isn't so much about getting to the top as it is the very climb itself. So when AI came around, I was naturally quite resistant to it. Not because I was afraid to learn how to use it, but because I didn't want to. I didn't want to be part of a new technology that would someday allow any fool just a touch of a button the ability to create something great. Because when greatness comes with ease, value is lost. This hasn't been just a passing thought for me, but something I've spoken about before here. My second speech here as a ToastMaster was called The Beast of AI. And in that speech, I talked about a futuristic world that I envisioned where human beings would slowly begin to lose value and unable to realize self-fulfillment in life. Not because machines were evil and stole it, but because we simply stepped aside and stopped doing the very things that gave us value and purpose in life in the first place. I was talking about a future world where creativity was lost, where effort became something that was optional, and mastery was replaced by convenience. And through that distorted lens, I saw an image of the world to come, one divided between those who still value the ways of old, doing things the hard way, experiencing the struggle, as to experience self-fulfillment. And just as those who would resist change, they will certainly suffer the most. Versus those of the new, embracing the change, chasing speed, chasing ease as they continue to try to outdo one another with AI, gradually removing themselves from the process altogether, not so they could become better, but to appear better to others, as if they'll really end up any better, as they follow en masse the AI beast to self-degradation, not forced, but chosen. But that was a choice that deep down inside I knew I would also have to make. And to my surprise, I chose AI, which I encourage everybody to do, by the way. When my washing machine broke about a month after the warranty expired, I was so angry and frustrated I was determined to fix it myself. Although I'm handy, without the circuit diagram, I couldn't diagnose a circuit board, but ChatGPT could. And 500 hours of back-ordered parts later, I finally fixed it. And although looking back, it definitely would have been better to just go buy a new one. I wouldn't have had that feeling of self-fulfillment had it not been for going through that struggle. And since then, I've used AI to fix all sorts of things around the house. I've used it to fix up my photography and even fix up this speech. So don't blame me if it doesn't come out very good. But you see, here's the thing. In each and every one of those processes, I was still the key driver, the main decision-making, with AI more or less just my co-pilot. But that isn't always going to be the case now, is it? Over time, as AI evolves, it'll gradually begin to chip away at more and more of that creative process until eventually we will be very far removed. It'll probably happen pretty gradually. Most of us won't even realize what we will have lost. Just take a look at what we've lost already. When was the last time someone showed you a photograph that just struck your interest, or you read a poem that moved you and you took action? When everything around us is an abundance of greatness created with one big easy button, nothing has value. And that's where my thinking started to change, that in perhaps the future, there won't just be those two groups, but three. with this new third group choosing to embrace AI, but also choosing not to fully surrender themselves to it. With this group realizing that struggle, hardship, and mistakes are all necessary in the pursuit of mastery, the very thing that exists because something is difficult. That's where pride comes from, and that's where meaning comes from, and that's the part most at risk. And once you see that, you understand the biggest risk itself isn't so much AI, but how we choose to use it. What will still be considered human versus what will not? What must still have to come from your very own heart and soul versus what can come from nothing? This is not a choice that any of us will need to make just once, but a choice that will need to be made many times. It is something that will test us, and certainly something that will tempt us. For the temptation of the new world to come will be one of ease, the ability to have it all at just a touch of a button. But like all temptations, they do not take by force. Wait, you can give by choice. So just remember that although AI may steal your job, only you can give your soul. Thank you.